Hello, welcome to Knit with Laura and Lola. This is, I believe, log number 13. I'm not going to skip the number 13 because I'm not that suspicious. I am Laura Nelkin. I am a knitwear designer. I live in upstate New York in the Finger Lakes region. And Lola is my alter ego, who's very fun. And she featured a lot in the last log where I showed you guys the thong along. So I'm not sure how much she's going to be around today or not. I think we will just wait and see about that. Today, I've decided to shoot this log outside because it is absolutely glorious out and I am having a very hard time being in my office and on the computer. So I thought I would take you outside, and if I shoot more logs outside over the summer, you'll get to see how everything gets very green around me. Right now, it's the very beginning of April and I've got a few daffodils blooming over I guess this is my right hand shoulder, but other than that, not a lot is really coming out. We've been doing some garden cleanup and a bunch of pruning of bushes that have gotten out of control, and it's felt good to get that done. It's a good distraction, the nice weather. I think I just saw that it's supposed to snow on Thursday or Friday, right when I had a photo shoot scheduled, so we're gonna reschedule that. It's too bad I wasn't ready for it earlier in the week because that would have been better. I have lots to tell you about today, and of course I have notes over here, so if you see my head turning, it's just to help me keep track and not get too distracted. What a week. I totally want to thank you for how much fun you had with me with the thong along last week. That was a great distraction. I think we all needed just a little bit of light humor to lighten up our days, and I think it's okay to be laughing some right now. I know things are really heavy and there's a lot of unknowns, but humor goes a long way to keeping me sane, and I hope it does with you guys too. This weekend I sewed a lot of masks, and I'm really happy to see that a lot of my friends locally have started sewing masks as well. People who I think are much better sewers than I am. So I'm still sewing, but I don't quite have that sense of urgency that I did a week or two ago when people were still kind of picking up on how to sew and who needed masks. I'm sending to some family in California and family in Germany, and I made sure my neighbors have some. And I'm still debating whether I'm going to go up to Cornell, where they have sewing for the Cugin Medical Center up there. That is on my list of things to research a bit more. For now, since I'm shipping kits from home, I'm worried that the moment that I leave and I'm not social isolating anymore, that just creates an unknown. And right now I'm the sole income earner, so it's kind of important that kits keep rolling as long as they can. I hope that makes sense to everybody. I don't mean to give too much TMI there. Too much information. Things I learned this weekend. I learned that I'm not very good at online yoga classes. I thought I was really good at online yoga classes, and then I did an online yoga class on Saturday, and I think I made the mistake of having my phone near me, and second, I made the mistake of turning off my video so people couldn't see me while I was doing yoga, and that meant I ended up being like, I don't feel like doing that move. I think I'll check my phone, or I'll just lie on my back and scrunch my knee up instead of doing that hard pose that's gonna make me really tired. So if I do more online yoga, which I really should because I'm going to miss my yoga, you guys have to make me leave my phone in the other room because clearly I don't have a lot of self-control all on my own. So you guys help me stay honest with that. I would really appreciate your help. As I said, we've been gardening a ton, and I could maybe turn the camera around a little bit. If I just do a slow pan, you'll see some beds in my backyard. I'm kind of doing a slow pan. You'll see my very trash deck that's on our list of things to do. And then back garden bed. We're getting ready to paint our house at some point, so I just took out all of these bushes. But you can see that it's not looking very green yet. The grass is just coming in and some plants are coming up. We'll see how that looks. I might end up having to edit that out if it looks horrible, but I tried to pan for y'all. Gardening and This week, as every week is having for us all, has had cancellations. You guys know I canceled the Ireland trip a few weeks ago. The other thing that got canceled was my ultimate knitting cruise this summer. We were starting in Copenhagen and going to Norway and then Iceland and then Shetland and then outside of Inverness and Invergordon and then Skagen, which is the northern point in Copenhagen, in Denmark, and then back to Copenhagen. And it was like all knitting destinations. I had some really incredible tours figured out, and it is just not a time to go cruising. I do have plans for cruises for 2021 and 2022, and then I'll try to like redo this ultimate knitting cruise maybe later in 2022 or 2023. The itinerary is all worked out, so I can just put it on hold for a little while and wait till it feels like cruising is a safe choice. I wouldn't want to go on any trip with anybody and feel like anybody was being put at risk. So that's sad, but it is the right decision, and I'm not as down as I was when I canceled Ireland. That made me really broke my heart, and I think I'm a little more resigned and accepting right now of what's going on. I know you guys can't see me, so you wouldn't know if I was crying or not right now, but the sun is too bright and I'm like squinting without my sunglasses on. So that's happening. What else is happening? Oh, the Pacificus DK knit along started on. I released that video last Friday late at night. It took like 8 hours to upload the video to YouTube. All that information is in my Ravelry group for phase number 1. The official cast on for the sleeve starts on April 17th. That's a Friday. If you want to join us, there's plenty of time to find yarn. There's a video that I shot that gives you all the information about different yarns that would work and helping you find yarn if you're not sure you can get yarn right now, and tips and tricks about working gauge and choosing your size. It's a really fun summer sweater, and I think it'll be a good accessible knit along, and you'll have a sweater. If you follow the knit along, you'll have a sweater in 5 weeks. So you'll have a summer sweater ready middle of May, which is kind of the perfect time to have a summer sweater ready for you. What I'm up to right now is getting ready for this photo shoot I keep hinting at. In the photo shoot, I have the next design for Lola's Choice, the next design for the N Club, bead kerchief, which I had on my needles last week. I believe I showed it to you guys, and it like literally knit itself. It was the fastest, simplest, most satisfying knit I've knit in a while, and I'm already wearing it, so you're kind of getting to see it. It's basically a cowl version of the bead kerchief shawl. There are going to be kits. It is off with testers now. They're working on it right now, making sure that I didn't introduce any errors, which is sometimes my MO. When I'm rewriting patterns to do it in a different way, I'll like introduce something that wasn't there before. That is a total mistake. So it's going to get checked out, and we're going to double check yardage and things like that, and should be out, I would think, because photography is happening soon and testers are happening soon. Could be out beginning of May. That's going to be my goal for that. Other stuff in the photo shoot is ring scarf, which was a Lola's Choice, which is my small kit club. It was a kit maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago in the springtime, and I was able to get more yarn. I ordered yarn before everything went crazy, and that came in, and it's gorgeous. So we're doing a photo shoot for a wider version, and I'll give you guys a link below so you know what I'm talking about. And that's going to be in the photo shoot, and then just some kit photos and a few other things, small things I'm working on, but I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm looking forward to seeing my photographer because I absolutely adore her. Her name is Jamie. She's a local homeschooling mom. She lives in Newfield, which is about 45 minutes from where I live. And she and I have been hiking together in the last year or two and having kind of like business meeting hikes that are really sweet. And I miss her. So we're going to have a 6 foot away photo shoot where Bella's going to come because Bella can touch me and like organize the knits, and that way Jamie won't be near me, and she'll have her camera. Maybe she'll even have her zoom lens so she can stay 30 feet away from me. But we're going to do it outside at the lake, which is my favorite place to be, and I'm looking forward to it and getting to share all those photos with you. It's fun to share like what's happening on the back end of my work. and my family's tired of hearing about it. So now I have you to listen to me. It's so perfect. Next up, if you guys follow me on Facebook or Instagram, earlier this week I posted a totally crazy knit surgery photo. It was actually this bead cur cowl, we're calling it. I think we're going to call it bead cur loop. So it's a cowl version of bead kerchief, and I think we're calling it bead cur loop. Thanks for all of your help. I think that was Deanna's idea. And I think bead cur loop works really well. I think it sounds better than bead cur cowl. So what happened was with bead kerchief, there's a garter stitch edge where you work garter stitch on the first and last 2 stitches. And then when I joined this into the round in the back, I continued garter stitch right here, and I didn't like the way it looked. So I ended up ripping that down. And maybe what I'll do is kind of right here, I'm gonna flash up. I'm gonna keep talking and I'll flash up so you guys can see what I did right here. So you can see what the surgery looked like. I took out the garter stitches, so these were all knit knit 1 round, purl 1 round, and I made it so it was stockinette stitch going down. And I just ended up liking that much more, and it worked out well with blocking. I did have to redistribute the yarn a little bit so the yarn overs were more the same size, but that worked out fine. If that's a technique you've never tried before, I teach that in one of my blueprint classes. Was it fixing lace mistakes? And it's a technique you could use on anything, not necessarily lace. Like I use it all the time. And I believe Blueprint is free right now. I think through April 15th or 16th it's free. And I'll put a link below if you want to check out that class for free. You can just watch it. And let me know what you think. I think the story, if you're watching stuff for free, is you can't download any class materials, but you can watch, and you will understand that technique if you watch it just from that. Next up, knitting. So I haven't been knitting a ton, partially because of finishing up some masks. Oh, there's a cloud that's making things a little less intense. Maybe I can take off my sunglasses for a little while. I'm going to show you something in 1 minute. I just have to check in with somebody, okay? I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to help somebody with something, and I got them going, and now I'm back with you again. It was good timing. I was getting ready to show you the very little amount of knitting I've done. I mean, I finished bead cur loop, and I've been working on some other stuff, but I did a gauge swatch for a new tunic design out of that Catskill merino that I showed you last week. This is like a worsted weight single ply, and I'm knitting it densely. I'm knitting it on 6s, and it blocks beautifully. The swatch was so pretty. And I'm basically doing like a longer sleeveless tunic side to side, and I think I'm going to have pockets in the side panels where you can just like slip your phone into the side pocket panel, because I've been finding that I really want pockets in everything to put my phone in, and I think the pocket will just be like this perfect little rectangle for a phone, and it'll be a little longer, so I'll be like a little bum warmer / bum coverer. And so I actually cast this on last night, and I thought I was going to do garter stitch down here on the bottom border, and I'm realizing that I think I want to do seed stitch. So I'm going to try and ladder down and build up the seed stitch, and if I can't do it, then I'm not that far in if I decide to rip back, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to ladder down and turn the garter stitch into seed stitch. Good times. I think I love laddering down a ton, and so maybe I do it on purpose sometimes because I'm crazy like that. So that's tunic, and then I'm thinking if the tunic shape works in this bulky yarn, that then I will try a very similar design with Susan Anderson's woolens that I just got in the mail last week, something kind of stripey and fun. Oh, you guys, our neighbor dog is here, and he is so bad. His name is Rocky. Yesterday, I left elastic out for a friend who's making masks on the porch, and then her husband came to pick it up, and we couldn't find the elastic anywhere, and I was like texting my family and being like, what'd you do with the gosh darn elastic? I use stronger language than that. Oh, hi, Rocky. And it turned out that Rocky had taken the elastic and brought it home to his house. And it took us a little while. It was like looking in garbage cans. They thought somebody threw it out. I was blaming everybody. I was at my classiest. But then Rocky's dad brought it back today, and we're supposed to yell at Rocky when he comes over here, but he's too cute. And when you yell at him, he rolls over on his back and like wiggles on the ground. So I can't yell at him because unless it's kind of cute. But stop peeing on my flowers. He pees on my flowers, and that's annoying. Can you tell I miss having a dog? I really do. Um, so other stuff that's going on, we are cooking dinner every night. It seems like we all kind of show up in the kitchen around 6 or 7, and we're all wondering what we're gonna eat. And Bella this week made really, really good crispy Brussels sprouts and gnocchi. You use like a dry gnocchi, if you've ever seen these in the pasta section, it's a potato pasta. I think it does have some flour in it as well, but it's mostly potato. And you like crisp up Brussels sprouts in a pan. If you're eat meat, you can put like some prosciutto in there if you want, and then you pull the Brussels sprouts out, and then you put the gnocchi in with butter and like crisp them up, and then re-add the Brussels sprouts and add like lemon and lemon zest and a little honey and hot pepper. I think we use some Aleppo pepper, but I'll put a recipe to that below. I could eat that like every other night, and for now this is really easy. Has been easy for us to find, so it's a good backup. We're buying like 2 of these at a time, and you could do it with other veg as well. I don't think you're locked into Brussels sprouts if they are not your thing. I love me a good Brussels sprout. I've also been playing with my sourdough baby a lot, so I've been making something every week. And this week I have some bread going in the kitchen right now that will be baked tomorrow. And we're also making English muffins because when you make the dough for the English muffins, it makes enough for like 30 English muffins or more. So we'll keep some out, but we'll freeze a lot. And then that way, when we run out of bread, we have some bread in the freezer because we ran out of bread the other day and all we had was corn tortillas. So it's time to do some backup baking. I kind of feel like I have been training to be a homesteader my whole life, and I'm finally getting to do it. Like all of these skills I was into and then not into anymore, I'm pulling them all back out, like being able to grow my own food and bake bread and be creative in the kitchen and make jam, all these things that I did over the years just because I felt like it. Now I'm really like harvesting all those skills. One of our family members checked in with us the other day, and Max was fixing the car and I was doing something in the kitchen, and I was like, we've been training for this our whole lives. We are all in. And in saying that, I get that we're really lucky. Like we're lucky that we live in this place that we can do all of those things. I feel so much for people who are living in cities right now and in apartment buildings and where it's not easy to isolate. It's really easy to isolate here. I wish I could just have you all come be with me, and then we wouldn't be isolating anymore. We could put like RVs all over my yard. That would be crazy pants. It would be like a knitting RV park. We should totally do it. But I digress. Watching. The best thing I watched this week, I believe my friend Sharon, who lives in Buffalo, suggested this last week when we were in the chatter thread. She said, watch Unorthodox on Netflix if you haven't. And I watched it this week and it was superb. And I watched the making documentary about making Unorthodox, which made me realize how superb it was even more. Like, it is not a fast-paced show. It is meaningful. The acting is relevant and it's real and it's clearly well researched. They speak all in Yiddish. Almost the whole movie is in Yiddish with subtitles. I certainly needed the subtitles the whole time. I speak, 3 words of Yiddish that I learned from my grandma, I guess, back in the day. So I would suggest checking out Unorthodox. A lot of my friends spent the last week watching that Tiger King documentary on Netflix, and I'll admit that I watched most of the first episode and I could not get into it, and I didn't understand why I couldn't get into it until my friend the other day was like, it's because you don't like any of them, and typically in a documentary or a reality show in that style you need to like one person, and I didn't find anybody like I liked them, and I know it's a train wreck, and I have a feeling at some point, like maybe by next week or the week after, I will have watched it and I'll be like, okay, I get it now. But have any of you watched Tiger King? I'm intrigued to know if people are liking that one or not. I'm still reading The Red Tent by Anita Diamant. I'm not reading a ton. I feel like when I finally get into bed, I start reading and I fall asleep very quickly. So that one, I need to pick up the pace on that if I'm going to be ready for our Zoom book group in a week and a half. Finally, I've been thinking about this log and I love doing it and I'm happy to keep doing it every week. But I think what I'm going to do, what we're doing with the log is I do a log on Wednesday and then there's some kind of like comment prompt and 10 people are chosen to do a Zoom with me the following Sunday with me and the Ravelry moderators. And those have been so interesting because the last one in particular, we had people from all over, like Mexico, Reno, Detroit, California, the South, Texas, like all over. And everybody had a very different experience with COVID-19 and how their lives had changed and what was happening in their community. And I realized it was like we had this kind of cross section to all understand what everyone is going through around the world. And it's one of the things that's making those Zoom knitting circles really interesting. And I wouldn't give them up at all. I really want to keep doing them. I think now people will be able to start doing one again. Like if you did one 3 weeks ago and you make a comment and you leave a comment, you might get chosen again. Like I'll keep mixing it up, but you won't ever be 2 times in a row like 2 weeks in a row. But they're really fun for me to do, and I think everybody felt really fulfilled at the end of the last Zoom knit group. It's intimate. There's only like 10 to 14 of us, and we all get to really speak with each other. And can you tell that I'm really enjoying them? Thank you. More to tell you about that. The log, I don't want to burn out on doing these because that would be a shame. And I don't want to feel like I have to feed it, like I'm running around trying to like find a recipe or find you content. I want it to maintain its authenticity. So I think what I'm going to do, because this Sunday is Easter Sunday, so I can't really do the Zoom knit circle on Easter Sunday because people might be celebrating with family or doing stuff with family online, however everybody's going to celebrate. I think what we'll do is do the Zoom the following 19th, so April 19th at 4 p.m. So I'll leave you your prompt in a second or two for you to leave below. And then we'll do it on April 19th at 4 p.m. And then the next log is going to be April 22nd. And that will do the premiere at 7 p.m. And the reason I'm going to take next week off is because I have a lot of videos to shoot for the Pacificus DK knit along. And that way I will have enough energy to really give those the quality of time that they deserve, and I won't be stretched between doing the log and getting content for that and then also doing the Pacificus DK knit along. So kind of cutting myself a little break so I don't burn out on you ahead of time. I'm trying to think ahead a little bit because I know I'll burn out if I don't create some breaks for myself. And these are so fun to do. Like I really just feel like I'm talking with y'all. So those of you who want to have a chance to join in on the Zoom knit along, just leave a comment either here on the YouTube video or over in Ravelry in the thread for the log, and leave a comment maybe saying where you're from. And because I think it's really fun to hear where people are from in the comments. And then also do like a 1-word check-in. So I learned this from Brene Brown that you can, if you're thinking about somebody, you can just kind of text them and be like, 1-word check-in, how are you feeling right now? And that way they know you're thinking about them. And I did this in our Facebook group the other week, and it was, I think it was really relieving for everybody. Just kind of say where they're at. It doesn't have to be positive. It's okay if it's sad. It's okay if it's happy. There's no judgment. So if I was going to tell you right now my 1-word check-in for today when I was taking my shower this morning, I would say my 1-word check-in is resigned. Like, I just am kind of resigned to what's happening right now and accepting it. So there's my one word for the week. Leave your one word in the comments. That will enter you to have a chance to do the Zoom knitting circle. I so appreciate you guys watching, and I hope that the light on this is okay, because I really don't want to go inside and film it again. And I will see you for the next log on April 22nd. Take care.